Hey everyone. Recently, there has been a lot of discussion about international students. Opinions vary. Some see them beneficial while others view them as a problematical. Some recognize their hard work, others suggest that they are nuisance and should be sent back. Personally, I believe rather, that most international students are hardworking, though there are few exceptions exist, but we shouldn't generalize them. Today, I will be speaking to one of the international students who's working with me. He's dedicated, punctual, and a very hardworking guy. I want to understand his perspective as an international student coming from India, what he thinks about all this. So, without wasting any more time, let's welcome him. His name is Ameya. Welcome, Ameya.
Thank you, Jas. That was a really good introduction.
So-
I did not expect that.
Yes, it's a little awkward also because we work
Yeah,
together and then
we
I'm
work
introducing
together.
it. But on a serious note,
Yeah.
I wanted to do this podcast is because, as I said it in the intro too, there's a lot of people out there who's saying international students should be sent back. They are the reason why the economy is right now at it is, or the housing prices have
Yeah,
gone up.
I know.
I wanted to know about from you, being you an international student and you're working. I've seen you and Emmanuel. Now he's on a work permit. He got it. But previously also there were a few international students who have worked with me, and all of them I had amazing experience working with me.
Yeah.
So wanted to know from you as a student, what does international students' life look like in Canada?
Oh, I'm going to be brutally honest here.
Okay.
It's not all hunky-dory. It's not all flowers, roses, everything nice. No. It's not a walk in a candy land. Definitely not there. As you know, real estate, like how
Yeah.
the housing prices and everything. You know the general economy of where this country is headed right now and where it is right now. But as an international student, it's very difficult because when you come here, you are not even used to having to deal with these type of issues, which is worrying about a house, worrying about how to earn so that you can pay for the house. It's
Right.
not like you have to own it, but at least pay the rent of it. And the amount of people in terms of students that are coming here, it's absolutely bonkers. It's mad, the amount of people that are coming
But
here.
I will say on the other side, as devil's advocate, is people say that who invited you here? Why you are here? You
Yeah.
should have go back to your country then.
Fair.
What's your in that defense it is? Then if
In
you
my,
feel like
for me to address that is basically simple as that. Like if you wanna progress, you wanna make change happen in your life, you gotta do something about it.
Okay.
If it's not your country, then maybe somewhere else. Because at the end of the day, there are other opportunities, there are other things that you do. But even if you do come here to Canada, you can still thrive. There is for anyone who is hardworking, who knows what to do and how to present themselves and all the other things that they can take care of as an international student, so they can be cutthroat and be ahead of all the public, all the people that are there already in the market. You can still thrive. You can still survive and make the most of it. The country right now is adversely affecting the student's life as well, because if the country was flourishing and the country did not have these type of issues, the student life would have been difficult.
but the
different as
country people are saying it is because of international students. This is all is happening, or
Oh.
they are creating the nuisance around on the streets, and they don't know how to.
Yes, there are exceptions. I
Yes.
understand. There are exceptions. Even I have agree, because as a brown person in this country, I have seen a little bit of nuisance in certain areas in this city. And I can say for them, I only can say that, when in India, like we are grown up with the values that even if you do go to a guest's house, you respect their houses.
Right.
Simple as that. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter your religion, doesn't matter where you come from, but wherever you are, you respect the place. That is a general rule of thumb. A lot of students, the exceptions that I'm talking about, don't have that. They have a different type of upbringing. Maybe they feel like, because of them, the whole, it gives the Canadian population one of more reasons to actually point fingers at us.
Or I would say that I feel like international students are soft target. I understand there are students who create a nuisance on the streets. They do things, rowdy things. They should not be doing it at the first place.
Yeah.
But it's not only the international students who do those things. It's the teenagers of this country too. If you go on Grenville on Saturday nights, see what those kids are doing it. End of the day, they are kids. They're teenagers.
kids,
What
yes.
I'm trying to say here is whichever they come from, they're teenagers. Back in the days, I was the same. Yes, I got educated. Their parents, you have to understand, those kids don't have a parents here. They're getting the freedom. All of a sudden, they got such a big exposure of this country,
Yeah.
and a Western style culture is completely different from back in India.
Back in India.
Yes, they get spoiled, and there are some bad apples too. I'm not saying all of them are good,
Yeah.
but we should not generalize. Okay, these are only international students who are doing this. Before that, this country was never had these issues. Yes, there were some things happening which is international students particularly are doing it, but on the positive side also, Ameya, like you working hard here, you coming to the job whenever it's needed, you putting your hours into it, and like you know how it is difficult to work with me too. You taking my shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted my work to be done perfectly fine.
Yep.
As an international student, you have to study and to work and to take the shit off the boss and to support your fees. It's not easy, and that's what I wanted to put
That
it out there to
balance.
the people. Like, okay, yes, these kids are coming from India with no support financially or as a parents or any elder relatives in here. Majority of them don't have it. Some of them have it, but end of the day, they are struggling. Their life is also not easy, and let's not generalize them. Okay, all the kids or the students international are wrong, and they should send back to it.
Yes.
I want to ask you about it. You were saying it off the camera too. Like, Jas, it is not our fault. Why did we come to Canada? Is because how the people back in India sold Canada.
Yeah.
So what's your take about that? Can you say elaborate it?
I'll elaborate. The idea of going outside for any international student who it's not like there's no it's not, let's not say that people outside of India only want to come to Canada. There are other countries too that they try to explore. But educational institutes, in my experience, I've seen it firsthand. They promote the idea of Canada very much. Like US is definitely very difficult to get into, and the next best thing is Canada, North American continent, another North American country. You can be here. You are accessible to US. You have all of this, and there are so many colleges in Canada that are, like, you might know that the governments have also made up a agenda that a lot of these colleges are dummy colleges. We are going to shut most of these off and only keep a certain colleges there. But students there back in India, they have no idea that, like, the reality is something different.
Yeah.
When they come here, they're sold. Once you apply for a college, the half of the job is done. All you have to now wait now because in your mind as a student, I have applied for a certain college. Now application done, I'm going to wait for the acceptance, and then I'm going to start dreaming about, my life in my international
how they have
life.
sold it to you. The life is is all about green.
Exactly.
They're showing you the mountains, the ocean, the sky trains, and this is all it is.
They do not tell you about
how much did you pay for the fees?
I paid around $36 to
so $40,000.
$40,000.
$40,000, a lot of money.
A
lot of money you paid already. So there's no going back now, and you coming into this country and understanding, this is not how it was sold to us.
Yeah.
That's also one part. I would say that when people say that you should go back to your country, why you are still here, you have to understand the amount of money they have spent it already to come to this country.
Yeah.
And if they had been given the opportunity to go to some other country and have that money back, I don't think so they would be here. Point is, like, guys, you have to understand these international students are one of the main source of running the businesses, small businesses, restaurant businesses, construction businesses. I have connections with both those businesses. If not 80% of the employees are students, 50% of them are students. It's not that there's no access, like they wanted it. As an employer, I wanted it. But there's not many people out there also who wanted to put work into it. They're not wanted to work with it. And so what else the options are there? And these students are very skillful too. Like Ameya is a videographer in my team. He's amazing. All the editing, he's done it. Most likely this podcast is either he's going to do it or Emmanuel will do it. Emmanuel is an international student. He got his work permit now and he's waiting for his permanent residency. And he struggled through this all. I've seen his struggle being there. He's doing it too. The other day you were mentioning it when we were on the way to Penticton. You were mentioning it how you're sharing the condo. I want to share those stories. Can you please tell it what's the story about your condo is?
So basically there are 3 people staying in the condo total. Okay.
One is the owner?
One is the owner.
Okay.
Owner, the person who owns the condo, 2 more guys in a living room, and I'm in the private room.
Oh, so 4.
4 people.
And how much rent he's taking from you?
He's taking around $950 from me. And all the other people, the 2 people outside, He's taking $750
So 1,500 and yours 950. So it's
950.
about
2400
24 give or take 2,400. And then
and then
food is included?
No, food is not
Okay,
included.
so this is what I've done to say it. So nobody's going to blame to that guy who's taking, because of these international students coming here, he's living by himself. And nothing wrong in it. I'm not saying it he's wrong or right.
Times are different.
But point is, these students are helping in the economy also. These students are helping the homeowners to pay their mortgages also.
Exactly.
They are paying such a big amount of rent. His mortgage is getting covered by these students living in the same condo where he's living himself. He's a single guy. He has 3 international students living with him. No food, nothing, and he's taking $24 rent out of them. So why don't we blame to those people who's taking the advantage of these international students also? If you wanted these students to work hard and to be, be decent and not to cheat around with the other things, is we should also look into ourselves, thinking about as a mayor that, okay, first of all, charity begins from home. So then I should also not take an advantage of it. Like you being an international student, I'm saying it on camera, like I'm paying you as much I'm paying it to the Canadian citizen here, because I feel like, and I'm being an immigrant, I feel like I came on a work permit. I know how the exploitation happens in this areas, how things works here. But if I'm going to do it, then what's the difference between anybody else and me? Then the person who has exploited me.
Very
Point is, before I blame you, I have to see myself too. Am I taking advantage of it? Isn't that owner taking an advantage of it? In normal circumstances, if there was no international students, I can guarantee you he will not able to rent that condo with living himself, 1 bedroom for $2,400. It's literally 1 bedroom because other 2 guys are living in a living room.
That is still fine. There is one house right in front of my apartment. My friends only. They are also international students. They're staying 10 people. 10 people in one house. You know why? Because it's so fucking costly out there trying to survive and trying to do the job. First of all, job is another fucking category, because if you go out there in the market, you will completely realize, and very quickly you will realize that there are no jobs for you.
No, they are not.
There are no jobs for you. Even if no matter how skillful you are, people are not even entertaining people at this point. So that makes you worry about how the fuck am I supposed to pay my rent? Now I have to resort to doing Uber. Now Uber, when I did it, and humbly I would say that I did Uber, and because it's you have to survive at the end of the day. And I did it for like 2 months, thankfully. And then after that, they now have a rule that they have made a base pay. Earlier, it was used to be depending upon the orders that you get, you deliver and all that stuff. But now there's a base pay, because there's a sudden surge of people doing Ubers. And students, every one of my friend in my college, in my university, does Uber. Used to do Uber.
Yeah.
Now maybe times have changed, because in a year my life has also changed, and their life has also might be changed. They might have gotten jobs. Few of them might have gotten jobs. But sorry to say that it's not really that great when you really get here, because the people who get here, they get grilled. They get grilled by the economy, and that's also fine. Grilling is a part. Like negatives is a part of the positives. You have to go through the grunt work so that you can reach the top at certain amount of time. But the sheer will gets crushed as a student, because it's not difficult, because you pay that much amount of money to leave the country to become something better, and you come here in the worst of conditions, the household problems and everything. You have to make yourself something out of nothing. You have to try to find a job. Once you get a stable job, that is another, that conversation itself is another podcast, because finding a job has 10 layers to it, because there's so many people out there.
But I mean, I would say to that, to defense it again, is that, didn't you know that you are coming here as an international student? So what were your expectations? How you are expecting that you're going to be, as per an international student, you should be having your fees ready up, okay, not making it from here. And also you should be having your allowance for living, at least for 1 year, if not more.
Now that's another thing. So the new updated rule, which was released this year itself, that they were going to increase the GIC amount. Basically, GIC amount is the type of amount that you should have ready beforehand. If you don't get a job, that amount, total amount, is going to help you sustain your living expenses and cost and everything.
Okay.
But I feel like that amount is outdated amount. The new updated amount is $20,000. For me, when I came, it was $10,000. You need to have $10,000 in your account to show the government that you can suffice for yourself till you find a job.
Yeah.
Little did people know that, it might take more than 6 months to find a job. You have to do all the other stuff. But it's kind of like
the
outdated.
ground reality is different than what the government was proposing. The options over there that
because even that $600 that comes to your account, if you have $10,000, right? Legally, you are supposed to only get $670 something from that $10,000 in your account on a monthly basis.
And which is nothing.
Which is nothing. You
To
even
survive.
you know, to survive, because that doesn't even cover your rent, even if you are living on a sharing basis. Another thing that you told about that, like a lot of people say that why did you even come here? Why not? I would say why not? I can come here, but why not? It's your responsibility to have some kind of compassion towards me. Why don't you just like, instead of shunning me off or in general, like that type of treatment, like anti-immigration sentiment is growing. I understand it's growing as well, but being nice also goes a long way. Like a lot of people helped me when I was doing door knocking in terms of jobs. I was trying to go for, I was going in the malls, I was knocking their doors. Even if people told me that, like going in the malls, managers don't appreciate that. Drop off your CV on the website. I did that. I waited. Nothing happened. No responses. Granted, yes, there are so many people. That's another problem that I want to address, is that there are so many people, but Canada has not done the hard work into allocating these people into the right resources.
Yeah.
I know that Canada needs immigrants. It needs people. It's out there.
Oh, by all means. Yeah,
by
it
all
needs
means,
it.
it's
Yeah,
out
we
there.
need
It's
it.
not.
We
You
needed
need it. But for example, let me simplify it for the people and you also. If you want to throw a party in a house which only can host 50 people, but in that process, you made passes, you tried to sell off the passes to your friends and family, and you have 50 people now. But you can see that now other people who did not get the pass are asking about your party.
No, it is like this. Okay, I host a party.
Yeah.
I have a capacity in my house to host a 50
50
people,
people.
but I invited 100.
100.
And the funny thing is, now rather than putting a blame on a host, because who fuck up? I fucked up. Okay, I fucked up. I called over more than I can entertain.
more than you can
okay,
handle.
I can
yeah.
handle it. Funny thing is, here people are complaining to the guests, saying,
Yes,
why did you come?
here? That's
Dude,
what.
they are given us saying it. Come as a
You
party.
guys
You can
say.
live there. You can do this. They sold you the Canadian dream. They sold you these are the things. You do it. You do your course. You get your work permit. After that, you get your permanent residency.
Exactly.
And this is the best country to live. It's a multicultural thing. Everything is nice. The living expenses are not the same. And when you come here, you already paid the fees, and then you feel like, oh what the fuck? Okay.
Now I can't back out. Now
No,
I can't
yeah,
go
there's
back
no
to India
go-
because now
go-
I'm invested this much amount of money. I have to make sure. What am I going to do by going home, by listening to any of these people? I'll go home.
No.
Okay, you tell me to go home, I'll go home. What am I going to tell my parents? That
Yeah.
what did I convince you? Why
Yes.
did I convince you to put this much amount of money so that I can come back?
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Exactly. Instead of blaming the government here, they are putting
Blame to
again
the
saying the blame
students.
to the students, because students I feel like is a soft target. And yes, again, there are, but I mean, it's a very serious also topic
It
is
is, it
about
is.
there are some students who create nuisance here.
It is. I've seen it firsthand.
I've seen it myself. Strawberry Hills,
Yeah.
putting up a huge volume, like
Yeah.
everything they're doing it. I'm not saying that okay. When I said it, other teenagers also do it. Like teenagers from here also do it.
Yeah.
I'm not defending their action of the international students, but whatever it is, when you are in somewhere else place, you have to be more conscious.
More
if
conscious,
you're
more
as a
respectable.
guest,
Yes.
you have to be more respectful.
Respectful.
So what you have to say it, because you may have come across with those. They may be your friends also.
Yeah.
Some of them are there. What they have to say about it, or what their perspective about it?
What the people who try to create nuisance, in my experience, I've come to know that there's no point in talking to them about all of these things.
So what
Because
they say, like what's their mindset is?
there's this word in Hindi called chod.
Huh.
Like, I am bigger than anyone.
Phukri.
And yeah.
Phukri.
Yeah.
Phukra hai.
I am bigger than anyone else here. I don't care who you are, what you are, whose house I am. I'm just like this. For those type of people, I feel like it's a human trait. It's not supposed to be, attached to a brown
International
person
student.
or an international student or anyone else. It's a human trait. It's something that their upbringing was fucked up. That's why they are like this. They were not taught to respect other people's houses or something like that. But because of them, I do get the understanding of, like because of them, it gets easier to point fingers at all of us. Because a lot of people also from here who are Canadians, who are like white or something like that, they don't understand how diverse India is. In India, a certain
so many languages we
so
speak.
many languages, so
Provinces.
many states. A certain student from north, a certain student from south, and certain student from the middle part of India all of their personalities are different. All of their upbringings are different.
Yeah.
And when they see a person who's of color, which is brown, they target the whole
Generalize
country.
it,
They
yeah.
generalize because it's easier, right?
Easier to
It's
target.
easier
Or
to target
It's
the
an
whole
ignorance
city.
also. Like,
It's
okay.
ignorance.
Or I feel like it's more than even north or south or middle of the India. It's about how the upbringing, as you mentioned it, the upbringing of the kid is also been, and what his mindset is all
Mindset
about.
is,
Is he into that zone where he feel like, okay, he's a king,
Yeah.
and he wanted to live a life as a king. But a lot of people of these people also who are into show off business,
Yeah.
a lot of business owners are making money from them, selling them expensive cars which they cannot afford it. Nobody
yeah.
talks about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Nobody talks about that.
Nobody
Like,
talks
okay,
about that.
because of these also, some part of that
They're exploiting,
Yeah,
right? They're getting exploited.
nobody talks about. So my only thing is like nobody talks about how much advantage we are taking about because of these international students coming here. Always saying it, international students are bad. International students are bad, but they are into construction industry. They are living in our basements, paying much more rent than it
So
used to
much.
be.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody talks about that topic. Okay, why if we so-called Canadians, or forget out, I'm an immigrant. If people who are so-called Canadians are so civilized and so genuine and nice people out there, why don't they take initiative and say, hey, you're an international student. I'm not going to take a rent from you for 1 month. I can afford
I
it.
can
You
understand.
cannot afford it till you get your job.
Yeah.
Hey, you're an international student. I will pay you the same amount of salary I'm paying it to the Canadian.
Yeah.
Why don't they do it? And then before they put a finger on you that you are spoiling everything and you are doing it, they're coming onto the radio talk shows and talking shit about saying that these students should
On
send
that
back
note,
to India.
why would Canadian people open that can of worms?
Brother,
Why
I'll
would
tell you these more than occasions. It's about our own community, which is putting our own community down.
Yes, that's also there.
That's a big
also
factor.
very
Is
true.
this unfortunately we Indians put ourselves down.
That's also true.
Nobody else does it. I've seen a lot of people out who are from different communities having more respect towards us than our own community. They don't wanted us to grow. It's just it's a nature of us.
It's a nature
We
of us,
wanted every benefit to come to us, and the moment we get the benefit,
Yeah.
stop it. So nobody else can get it. Nobody else can get the same benefit.
Same
the
type
day
of
I got my
treatment.
citizenship, I wanted it to be stopped the next day. I don't wanted my relatives, my friends, anybody to have the citizen of Canadian because I got it. Now it should be stopped.
Oh.
This is what it is. This is just
It's
this is
unfair.
it is how our community is. You
Yeah.
have seen it. We are like that. We try to pull each other's leg. We don't want this other person to grow, and that's what I feel like. Okay, when it comes to exploiting the international students, we are at the front.
Yeah. And the funny thing
We
is,
are the first one to exploit it.
Yeah.
Wherever we get the opportunity, we exploit them. Underpay them.
Underpay them,
Right,
make them
underpay
work for
them.
whatever hours.
Ask them to work for extra hours. Whatever they want to do
Easy
it, do
target,
it.
right?
Right? It's an easy target. They don't have any resources here to complain about it. Yes,
Exactly.
there are offices where you can complain it. But in reality, as a student, they feel like, okay, I have to pay the bills also. Should I go into the legalized aspect of things or should I
Yeah.
pay my student fee here?
Yeah.
And they
that's where students
And nobody
get the
talks
right
about
to,
it.
Yeah, that's where the students get the right and even the avenue to even ask the question to the government, like why is the situation like this?
Yeah.
Why
Oh, government knows it. When
Government
you
knows
talked
it.
about it, and initially there were some fake colleges, there were some
Oh,
dummy
yeah,
colleges. You think government doesn't know about it?
They're making money off of it,
they made so much money from this. It's
They're
a
making
billion-dollar industry. It's a
Education
billion-dollar industry of international students, and they made it. Now, because the elections are coming and there's so much of a outcry about the international students, government is tightening up because they want to win the elections. They don't want to lose these elections, that's a different topic
That's a
again. I
different
don't think
topic
so they're
again.
going to
Yeah,
win.
that's a
But
political
point
topic.
is,
That's a very-
I don't think first of all, he should not win again. He doesn't deserve it. And yes, it's a time to go.
It's a time to it's
to
time
go
for
for
change.
them to change it. But overall it's not just the international students about it.
Because
Yeah.
we are talking about the drawbacks of like all the negative sides of the international students. Let's talk about the positives. Being an international students, people I've seen the general consensus is like people around students that are coming right now are around 24 to 28.
Yeah.
Okay, general, let's say that number. Those type of people have so much experience in the work that they do.
Most of them, they are skilled.
They are
Look at you
skilled.
yourself. Like if you have a skill
are
from back
skilled.
home India, you're doing such amazing editing. People out there, they have DM me. Your editors are very good. It's Emmanuel and Ameya. They both have. Emmanuel was international student. Now he's not. He got his work permit.
permit done.
Yes. But Ameya is an international student. Before that, there was a marketing person of mine who was an international student. Ria is receptionist. She was an international student. Now she's a permanent resident. Point here is like majority of the people have come from India as international students or work permit like me.
Yeah.
And I have been in this industry also, realtors industry, mortgage. I have a very good friend of mine who's a mortgage broker and very well he's very established. He was an international student.
See?
So when they say that international students are creating the nuisance, not all the international
Not all
students
the
are
international
doing
students.
it. Yeah,
Also
check your
say
facts.
that. Also
Yeah.
say that whenever
And
you
stop
point
taking
a
the
finger,
exploitation. Just stop exploiting these
exploiting
international.
these
Then you
students.
talk about
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Have you
yeah.
even tried using these international students to
Underpaying
your
them
benefit?
and what you're doing it about is like I can say this in a record. I don't know. Like Emmanuel is there. He's an international student. Day one, I paid him the same salary I was paying to Canadian citizen, whatever the rules he has it. He charged me. Maya charges me the same amount. Point here is not I'm saying it. I'm a saint or say is we Indians guys have to support our own community. We have to support these guys because they're coming from India with not much resources here. And if we're gonna exploit it, then what's left then? No Canadians like Caucasians people don't exploit it. We exploit them. We use them. We take advantage of them. We know that they want an immigration of this country. Let's exploit them. Let's pay them, underpay them. Let's charge money for them for the permanent residency. No, we should not do that.
The approach should be very positive towards Indians. Like even if you like, if let's say like if you are my brother, then help me out, right? Like in that sense, like you're talking about in that sense, like use the people, help them grow, do all of that, be very positive towards them. Because as someone who's brown and being established here, you have the liberty to do that. Other people are not being that nice. At least let's not pull our people down.
So what do you think of overall Canada? Yeah. Do you want to stay or you want to go back?
I want to stay because it's been 1 year, and for me personally, I don't back out that easily. Like, okay, it is maybe a difficult time, and I know for a fact that times change is constant. Maybe I just have to ride the wave. This is just the low of it.
Yeah.
It might go up. All I have to do is keep at it. As a student, I have to make sure my studies are going right. I have to make sure the college, the study and work balance is also right.
Right.
I have to also make sure if I'm focusing on work and if I'm focusing on studies, or everything else will be automatically taken care of. Rent will be automatically taken care of because you will have a job and everything like that. And as a student also, I feel like I do have a message to give to a lot of people. Just be fucking respectful to wherever you are. Don't try to be a nuisance because we are at a hot seat.
Yes.
We are literally under the gun. The first people that are under the gun are us. That something bad happened. Because of so much people. Housing problem because so much people. Ask the government why did they open up the doors to so many peoples.
Yes, that's the main question nobody asks.
Nobody asks that. They will. It's convenient to point fingers, but it's not convenient is to open up the can of worms because if they know that if they start asking the right questions, they will come up with problems that they won't have answers to. Because they will understand then and there that the fingers are pointed towards themselves.
Exactly.
That we did that. We did. These guys have no fucking fault, like whatsoever.
No, it's not.
It's not.
You didn't come illegally here. You got your visa, you paid your fee, and then you came in, and now you're saying it. Why the fuck did you come here?
Are you here?
No. Okay. Like you guys told me to come.
And yes.
Same thing is same analogy. Like I'm inviting you to my house, and when you come, I blame on you. Why the fuck are you here? So Jas, you send me the invitation. Now you're saying it
now
like
I'm here
and now you're insulting me. Say go back.
Go back.
Like
and,
what the fuck?
And that's what I'm saying. Like if you have to question us, then ask yourself also this question that a lot of jobs that a lot of guys do, which are immigrants, Indian people do. Are you ready to do those jobs? Those positions are also open for you.
There's not many people out there who wanted to do those jobs, and it's very difficult. I said it.
It's
restaurant servers,
and
construction industry. If not 80%, 50% is run by the students. They are the one working hard. Putting work into it. I've seen it myself. Having experience of both the industries, I've seen it, and they are the ones only who putting it. If tomorrow those people are not there, who's gonna be there working? Nobody. How are we gonna run the businesses? No.
Now, I'll tell you a simple example of how Canada can, like a suggestion, can actually utilize the amount of people, the human power that you have. Most of my friends are of good mindset and they know why they are here for. And they are very much, half of them, have of course gone through the grunt work and actually finally found a job that they want to do. And some of them are still struggling with a lot of experience from India. very good at their jobs, engineers, whatever, doctors, accountants, very good at their jobs. Use them.
Yeah.
Use them. Try using them instead of, making them feel like, okay, a person, my friend, he works in construction, bro. But his brain is so sharp that I feel like, bro, what the fuck is happening? Like you back in
Yeah,
India.
they don't acknowledge the skills or the education you guys have.
You
it back
guys
from
have
India,
like
from
use
India.
it,
It's
right?
difficult.
At least
it's difficult.
entertain that guy
Yeah.
for more than 5 minutes instead of just because you know what? If the general public of Canada is pointing fingers at these people, us, a lot of people are also listening to
Yeah.
that message. Like a manager who did not have any clue of, like an Indian person is going to be bad. They saw this news yesterday. Someone else his friend might have seen the news that something in Strawberry Hills very bad. A brown guy was doing it. He might have heard that news, and now on that basis, he is not giving the opportunity to the guy he's going to interview the next day.
Yeah.
Because he has heard,
It gives
oh
a
my,
bad name
because
to
it's
our
a bad
community.
name,
Yes.
right?
It does.
And just like that, it's very easy to point fingers, but yin and yang, there's good and the bad as well.
Yeah.
Try to use these people as weapons. This person, I know, doesn't need to work in construction because he has the sheer power. He has the willpower. He is ready to do the work that all he needs to do is being entertained by the right person.
Yeah.
When I came here as for the interview, I know for a fact that I was confident that, like I'm at least a stand-up guy that I can talk. I just need to be in front of the right person so that the right person can hear me out and give me the job.
Yeah.
But it took me more than 1 year, Jas, to come in front of the right person.
To get a job.
To get a job. To be in front of the right person.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what I mean?
difficult.
It's
Yeah.
difficult because
difficult.
there's so many like job market here also is very different because the people, most of my friends also have PR. They are permanent residency, and they are struggling.
Oh, everybody's struggling. Everybody
It's
out
not
there
the
is
students
struggling. It's
itself,
not the
it's
students only.
everybody's
Everyone is
struggling.
struggling. And maybe that's why the frustration is coming out.
Yeah.
They're feeling like, okay, because of them, we are not getting the jobs. It's not because of the international students, you are not getting the job. It's just how the market is right now. It's slow. The businesses are slow. It's difficult to maintain businesses. So many people are getting jobless. And yes, it's very difficult, hard time. But my whole point of having this podcast was that to hear from international student and hear his story and telling you guys also like not all international students are here to create nuisance. There are some hardworking kids too, just like Ameya, and there's so many other kids too out there, international students who are working very hard to make the ends meet. So don't just generalize every student in one category and try to bash them. That's my request to other people too. You guys are smart. You know what you're doing it. And I'm not here to teach you what is right or wrong, but that's my perspective. And before we end up this podcast, Ameya, one thing you want to say to on the camera about international students, how should they look for international students? Or whatever you want to say it. Just one.
Probably I would, on the end note, I would just probably say that not a lot of international students are bad. Most of them are really good. They have the heart because everyone has taken a chance on this country and they have come here to develop this country. They are going to use their skills to develop the land that they are in. It's not like they're working here and benefit is going to the country that they are from. Because if I'm working here, we are going to grow as an economy. Use them instead of trying not to entertain them, trying to ignore them, all the simple things that happen in our day-to-day life. Don't nudge them. Like at least treat them with decency because Canadians, you guys are known for that. You guys are marketed in a way where, Canada is nice. People are nice here. Show them. Be compassionate.
No, but to their defense, I will say that they are very nice people. They're just like international students. Small part of the international students are there. This only small part of our Canadians too, or in specific our community also. There are many people out there in our community who are very supportive about international students, and they are very encourage international students to come here and do hard work.
Very true,
and in general also, forget about our community. In general also, all Canadians. There's a very small part of it, and this was for them to tell the facts that guys. Check your facts before you say something on social media that these students are bringing a bad name to the country. It's not the fact. Actually, the other way around, these students are bringing work to this country in terms of helping small businesses just like me and many and hundreds of other small businesses who are able to sustain their business because there are some students out there who are willing to work and work hard.
Just try not to have a certain bias in your mind when you talk to a brown kid or just anything.
Perfect.
Like, have a clean slate in your mind that forget about all the things that a brown kid is associated to.
Yeah.
Just have a clean slate in your mind and go for the conversation. And 5 minutes, I'll kid you not, you will be surprised. Oh, you will be like, oh fuck, I did not know that this kid was this bright.
Don't judge the book by its cover.
Don't judge the book by its cover. Goes
On
without saying.
on that note, let's end it up, Ameya.
Yes.
Thank you. Really
Thank
appreciate
you so
it.
much. Really
let's
appreciate
get back
giving me
to
the
work
opportunity.
and
Yes.
edit this and let's put it out there for
Definitely.
social media.
Definitely.
Okay, guys. Until then, you guys have a wonderful evening. We will see you next time with a new guest to our podcast, Unplugged with Jas Oberoi. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.